Hi, my name is PHYS, and this is my Week 4 reading assignment. Some of the main physics ideas covered this week include projectile motion. We can solve such problems using a computer model, or we could solve them analytically using vector equations. The video also touched on how to solve projectile motion problems involving drag analytically. Predicting the future with fundamental interactions using a computer model. I learned how to use a computer model to represent the motion of the Earth around the Sun, and also learned how to mix Newton's second law of motion and Newton's gravitation law in code. Newton's third law of motion. Every action has an equal and opposite reaction. For instance, let's take gravity. If an object A exerts a gravitational force on object B, the object B would exert an equal but opposite gravitational force on object A. This is known as reciprocity. Predicting the motion of falling objects. I saw how to analyze, graph, and predict the motion of an object that is moving downwards, hence under the influence of gravity. This slide is about what I learned that was new to me and what I learned which I already knew. As for what I learned that was new to me, you can see the list seems pretty long on the slide, but in short, it was mainly to do with the coding aspect of the videos. I am new to coding, so I learned some new functions like the arrow scale, the arrow.pause, and arrow.axis functions. I also learned how to incorporate more than one force in a code. For instance, I learned how to include the formulas for forces like weight and drag into a code. What did I learn that I already knew? I knew that we could solve projectile motion questions analytically and knew the vector equations used. I knew about Newton's third law of motion. I learned quite a bit about it in high school. I knew how to use Tracker to analyze the video of an object in motion, and I knew the general motion of a falling object. So basically how the graph looked and that the drag force increases as the speed of the object increased. Something interesting that I learned was the use of a computer model which combined both Newton's second law and gravitation law to predict the motion of the Earth around the Sun. I found this interesting because I can see myself using a similar model in the future in my own field of study. I am a mechanical engineer, and as an engineer, we look for different ways to model our product and check its functionality before we start the manufacturing process. Let's take a satellite, for instance. We would be able to model the position of the satellite orbiting a star or planet and would be able to input different initial velocities and angles showing us various paths the satellite could take around whatever it was orbiting. It would also tell us how the mass of the satellite might be affecting its orbit, or the velocity required to stay in its orbit. As far as challenges go, I didn't exactly find anything confusing or hard to say, but I am new to coding, so I went back and rewatched all the videos involving any coding so that I could understand it better. Well, that's it from me. Thank you very much, and I hope you have a great day ahead of you.